I learned there is always an answer. The answer may be, I don't know, let me take you to the library, but there is always an answer. And you learned that there is not always an answer, and I just have to accept it and shut up and move along.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had enough conversations about how our brains viewed things so differently over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Like right down to this doesn't make sense, so there must be something wrong with me, and this doesn't make sense, so there must be something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's given both of us a unique perspective on
everything.
all deconstruction.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there are two ways to approach things, and that's it. That's both the far ends of the spectrum right there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, if I didn't understand it, if I didn't understand something in the Bible or something that the pastor said, something that my parents said, something that was in the textbook, it was always, well, I'm not meant to understand, and I have to just blindly believe because that's what faith is. I don't have to understand in order to believe.
And see, I would always be, it doesn't make sense, so it must be wrong. Which is also equally damaging in its own problem over there in the corner.
You're right, but it at least opens up the opportunity for research and critical thinking.
It does.
Whereas this spectrum does not. Asking questions, researching outside of the Bible,
all of that's wrong.
Is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you're at church and the pastor tells you all this stuff and he's like, don't take my word for it. You know, go research it on your own. Well, what does that mean? Go read the Bible.
Go read the Bible.
And that making a person believe that everything that's true only comes from the Bible, and if there's something in this entire existence of the universe that disagrees with what's written in this one book, I don't know exactly where I was going with that, but to make a person think that and feel that and just bounce, nope,
and
that's
some
wrong,
of that's
wrong. It's damaging.
It is very damaging, and some of it's personality. Like, just like being on the opposite end of the spectrum, like, we can sum it up to personality. Mm-hmm. There are some people who are just, your personality is inclined to, okay, well, there must be something wrong with me if I don't understand.
Yes.
And my personality is inclined toward, okay, there's something wrong with that because I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And then how those two personalities got fed just pushed them further and further. Because for me, I had parents who would look at me who would say all research happens in the reference section. And literally, of course, I asked my mother why until she had a mental breakdown in the kitchen and cried on the floor for an hour. But would literally take me to the library and show me the reference section and be like, you can't take anything out of this section of the library, but it will answer all of your questions. Here's your notebook and your pen. Leave me alone. And if they had fed that differently, I don't think I would have gone as far as I did.
True.
Because I learned there is always an answer. The answer may be, I don't know, let me take you to the library, but there is always an answer. And you learned that there is not always an answer, and I just have to accept it and shut up and move along.
Mm-hmm. It would have been phrased as there is always an answer, and God is that answer. You just don't have to understand it.
Right. But it essentially that what way you were being told
mm-hmm.
is there is not always an answer.
There's not an answer for
and
me as a person.
There's no point in asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so you just get shoved further
into what you're inclined to do.
Yeah. Into that natural inclination. Yeah. And it creates really interesting conversations that you're here for today.
so many interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Like, critical thinking is just removed completely.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite. They, instead of, well, what do you think about this? This is what you should think about this.
Yes.
This is what God said. Period. Deal with it. Don't critically think it through. Don't just always come back to giving it back to God, give it back to God, give it back to God. And okay, on one hand, that type of personal faith may help somebody in their own spiritual.
But like, what does that even mean? What does giving it back to God even mean?
To not process the emotions and just roll with it.
So God
and give God all the praise for everything that happens in your life, even if it's bad.
So God wants my emotions.
God wants me to thank him for the building burning down.
But I mean, yeah, okay. Good things come from bad things happening. I'm on that boat. But what does it mean to give it back to God? Like, what does that mean?
I'm trying to figure out how to put it in words. You know, it was for me.
Because that's where my brain goes. That's my knee-jerk response to things like that.
Gotcha.
Like, literally, what does that mean? What does that look like? What does that sound like? Like, I'm in the boat of good things come from bad things happening. I have to be. My entire life is just a pillar of that. But how do I give that to God? Like, what? And maybe it's because I'm too autistic and that's the literal brain there. But, like,
I understand what you're saying.
What does that mean?
And I think that that's, for me, was part of there's something wrong with me.
Because it doesn't.
I don't understand how to literally give it to God.
Yeah. And I'm over here, there's something wrong with it because it's not making sense.
I would be like, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand that I am missing some sort of data that everybody else has because it seems to make sense to everybody else.
And I have the same thought. Like, I'm clearly missing a portion of data. Mm-hmm. And I will even go so far as to these people are willfully keeping information from me because no one can tell me what it means. Like, I will become super aggressive and paranoid because I can't reason that it's me.
Well, then for me, it would turn into...
It must be you. You must be doing this on purpose. You're keeping this from me on purpose.
I would do that, but from the perspective of God is doing this to me for a reason. He's testing me, putting me through the fire, refining me, even though I've been refined since birth. You'd think I'd be done.
Okay, but what does that look like? Like... This is why my mother cried on the kitchen floor for an hour.
And I like the questions because it makes me think it through as opposed to just parroting what sounds easy. Yeah.
What's said to you.
So what was the question?
Like, what does it mean for God to be using the fact that you can't give it to him because you don't know what that looks like to make you a better person? Like, how does that... Job? But I'm pretty sure Job knew what it looked like to give it back to God.
I mean,
even though it's not fully laid out, we're told that Job is a man of God and God's favorite, basically. So I'm sure he knows how to do that.
So now you know why I was on pins and needles my entire teenage life, thinking that one wrong move would send me either to hell or out of favor or be expelled.
I don't know, like, as much as God liked Job, I don't think I want to be on God's good side. Like, if that's what your favor looks like,
yeah, I didn't think that though.
I know.
So I mean, it's like we all know the brain will reason itself to death.
The brain will find some equilibrium. That is what it wants to do.
And that's what mine went towards.
Yeah.
Was I don't understand how I'm supposed to just pray this away. I don't understand blah, blah, blah. I don't understand this. I don't understand that. So there must be something wrong with me. I don't need to understand it. It is not my human responsibility to understand the ways of God. So I am just going to give it to God. And then I'd still be like, am I doing it right?
Am I doing it? Because nobody can tell you what it means.
Do I need to do the prayer of salvation again? Because am I doing it right? I'm trying so hard, and it's not working for me. But somebody who's completely in the world, not following God, gets this major blessing.
And then we have to discuss what are godly blessings.
Oh gosh.
Which, because that's where my brain goes, is wait a minute. So if they're not a Christian and they're living a good life, is that really a godly blessing?
God's using them and they don't even know it.
How do we know?
Someone told us that that's what was going on.
I mean, yeah, accurate. But then, like the question queen over here, like, but how do we know?